Curtis Young, how's it going, Bob? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, I'm good. My boy's like 8 days old now, so I'm just kind of like go with things, so yeah. So it's been good, a new set of energy.
Well,
yeah.
me and my man Mills are here with professional breakdancer.
Breakdancing, first of all, sorry, for me is a media term. For me, what I do, I'm a b-boy. Through being a b-boy, I got into it just, I was a full-time chef. There was a fire in the kitchen. Someone basically broke into the kitchen and they basically tried to destroy the place, but they didn't do it in the end, so they ended up doing a refurb for like a week and a half. Went down to the swimming centre where it used to be at the bottom of town, and I walked past a studio called C2. Had an open day, hip-hop open day they called it. So I went in and I looked around and there was some music production going on, and the last place I got to, I just heard music getting louder and louder, was this end room. I went in this room and then these guys, I think there was Suicide Lifestyle from Hungary at that point. A guy called Dennis John was there. I just walked in, man, and I seen this guy doing windmills, man. He was doing windmills across the floor like that. And then another guy flipping off the wall, and I was like, what is this? Like, I knew what it was, but I'm like, yo, I want to do this, do you know what I mean? Straight up. So I spoke to Dennis about it. I then got into it. I basically went part-time at work. I was missing orders because I was on the pasta shift, so I was missing orders because I was too busy thinking of breaking. So then I took a conscious choice to stop working and then just pursue dance. That's what I did. Funnily enough, that was at the age of 23. I'm now 33. So it's been like 10 years in a certain respect. So it's like I've always had the mentality of like I've had to get on it, go hard or go home type of mentality. So yeah.
So, Bob, you've come up in Huddersfield. I mean, 10 years ago when you started out, did you get a lot of support or any guidance?
My main guidance was from a guy called Dennis John. He was, and I think if anybody from Huddersfield knows of Dennis John, on the dance scene, they'll know that he's very influential and he's helped a lot of people, and not only through dance as well. He's an inspiring person, do you know what I mean? He's bubbly. I've never really seen him annoyed. If you see him annoyed, it's rare, you know, so he's always smiling, you know. So, but yeah, he's one of my main guidance. He showed me a thing called Indian step, he showed me 6-step, and he showed me baby freeze, and then he showed me a thing called a coin drop. And those are the kind of those are the only things he showed me. But at the time I was annoyed. Like, why are you only showing me little? Why are you only showing me these little things? Do you know what I mean? Like, I want the big stuff. Do you know what I mean? But at that time I didn't understand that. But at the time then, he was just giving me a taste for me to run with it and make my own thing out of it. So within that, it gave me the mentality to seek my own answers. I just researched then. I researched on the internet. I just found other scenes like in Korea. I was very influenced by the Korean scene and the French scene. You could say my main support at that time was a place called C2, was Dennis John, and a guy who owned a place called Kevin Nurse, and the internet. I'd say, yeah, I was dancing solo, but like I'd go and train I'd train at C2. The problem that I found with C2 at a certain point though was because it was kids. They were all like kids, could say juniors going in high school, and I was 23 at that point, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I need to find a bit more maturity in this for myself for it to be a bit more long lasting. Then there was a guy called Darren Dawson, he's known as a Maze, or Deaf Blue. He's Huddersfield based. At that time as well, same thing again, guy called Dragon, probably known as Cotton Killers. Now he's been a long existing b-boy, he loves hip hop as well. So those two people, in a sense as well, was on that level of things, and they kind of helped me a lot with that. And then what happened was we ended up going to Leeds University, where I met a guy called Lee Gorman. Everyone knows him as Lethal. Me not knowing it at that point, that me meeting Lethal would be the beginning point of Ghetlow Pirates, which is my crew now, which has been long lasting since, say, around me second year into me breaking. It ended up being where I had to venture out and go to Leeds, and then Leeds became my scene, because there wasn't really a scene in Huddersfield, even in Leeds now, to be quite honest with you. Making a meal off it never even came into my mind state. I'll be really honest with you, from when I seen the world from a different view of being upside down. Like as a move you can, well, first I learned a handstand, but to get a handstand I had to use the wall, couldn't really hold it at all. So, and I started looking at the floor a lot, and then a guy called, I was training one time, and Dennis said to me, oh, just look through. So I looked through, and when I seen the world from there, I was like, wow, like that just like did something else for me, and then it created another path for me wanting to battle more. Within what happens within the breaking scene, it all goes off rep. It's a similar thing as an MC, it's a similar thing as a graffiti artist, you know. It's building rep, you know. So it's like, when I understood that, I just repped, that's all I did. I just, any given opportunity to battle, I went there. And then through that, people got to know my name. You could say I'd like to say, most of the reason why people know me on the breaking scene up and down the country is I'm known as a battler. I'm known as someone that reps on that side of things. So yeah, making a meal of it. Jeez, probably about 5 years in. 5 years in, I had the opportunity to teach, but then knowing at that point as well that it's a delicate thing to teach, because if you're not educated within yourself, all you're teaching is diluted water. And water don't really taste much anyway, so if you're diluting water, what have you got? You haven't got much. For me, I took it upon myself then to knowledge myself through certain things, and I just found there was a basic, not a basic structure, but a basic way to hold yourself. So being footwork as the original part of breaking for me is all this stuff. It's like round like this, you know. So the basis of that for me is here. So there's a thing called a Cossack. So it's like this, I rush and I do this, yeah. So that would be the basis for me, for your strength within your legs, to be able to do any footwork, yeah, for me. So I use that as a means of structural basis for someone when it comes to footwork. Within top rock and stuff like that, it's like, there's mainly a couple of steps, but there's all kind of variations upon them, you know. So it's a similar thing with that, and the basic structure within freezes and stuff, and then it just got me developing, got 9 levels, where I think breaking's got 9 levels to make you an all-rounder within breaking. So I kind of created something like that on a real basic level. Started teaching for a place in Halifax at Actors Workshop. Was working there for a good amount of time, and then making more money out of the situation like that would be then coming to the facts of judging. It gets to the point where, like, the reason why I got on a plane was because of breaking. I've only ever been on a plane when I was 12 to go to Salute. Any other time before that, I'll be honest with you, the first time I got on a train by myself to go anywhere was to go to Leeds, and I was 23 dread. So for me, if I wouldn't have found breaking, I'd still be in Dalton. You know, like when you find that close knit, everything you got's in one place, that's kind of what it was for me then. So just even venturing out was just like that as well. So real money then, you're probably talking in about 8 years in, where you're doing actually, like, you're doing gigs and stuff like that, or you're working for agencies and stuff like that. Don't live off breaking, if I'm honest. Do it because you love it. Do it because you've got a passion for it. Don't do it for the premise of money, because you're going to attract the wrong people, you're going to attract the wrong energy, and you are going to then get the culture wrong. You are then also going to be projecting the culture wrong to the next generation who's underneath you. So then you're just going to basically be creating a bunch of money grabs. I think with anything in life, if you apply passion over anything, the money will follow, you know. It just depends on how much passion you put into the points of how fast that comes towards you, or in the quantity of it comes to you, do you know what I mean? Personally, off the basis of if you was going to try and make money out of breaking, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Do it because you love it.
Right, bro, can you tell us about the local break scene? Is it strong, or could it be better?
It could be better. It's not really, if I'm honest with you, it hasn't really got one. Based around the fact, if I today wanted to go train breaking, there's nowhere in Huddersfield for me to do that. On top of that, if I wanted to venture out further than that, I'd have to go to Bradford, or I would have to go to Leeds. But Leeds Breaking Society is now stopped, so there's no actual training in Leeds now. There's a place that you could go, and that's with a place with two people called Georgina and Scott Coulson. Yeah, and that's only on a Saturday, you know. So then there's Manchester if you want to go to Manchester. But yeah, there's nowhere in Huddersfield. With my taster sessions, I've kind of got something going on with university where I'm trying to hook up a free space or a small feed space for local dancers within different, even if it's different styles or whatever, that can hide the space. I know there's a lot of poppers, there's a few poppers in Huddersfield, to be quite honest with you, more than these breakers. There's breakers wise, there's kids, there's like a good two handful of kids that know about breaking, that enjoy it, but haven't taken up on a full-time basis. In answer to that, there's not really a scene here, and there needs to be one.
Bruv, I'm aware that you've recently launched a new venture called CBY Squared, a workshop. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, CBY Squared. CBY Squared is a charitable company that I started in 2012. At the minute, it's non-registered charity. We aim to basically provide breaking workshops, breaking events. I've also got two events that I've been a part of. One was called Fresh Factory, which was originated by a guy called Special K, a popper, and Dennis John. It started as a popping jam, and it grew from a popping jam, and it started to mix other styles in. They asked me to get on board to actually facilitate the breaking. I think Fresh Factory was going on for a good 5 years, and it had a strong local following. With CBY Squared, that was the kind of starting point of kind of what CBY Squared was about, being myself as such. And then initially what CBY Squared stands for Celebrate Being You. Trying to make it not sound as cheesy as it could be, but in that respect of things, it's about being yourself. It's about finding your own identity within a society that tries to give you an identity. Thinks to like you have to think a certain way, you have to be a certain way, you have to be in a certain form, you know what I mean? And that's why I love breaking. There's no form within, there's a form within breaking, but you can make it your own form. Within that in mind, trying to be able to portray that onto the next generation, to be able to give them the confidence, to make them actually have the self-belief that they can be anything they want to be. For me, it starts at a young age. It starts at these ages, like 10, 12, 13. Like, these are the ages where it starts at, you know? And if a kid don't really find himself in this age of where he's got something passionate, then they're just going to appeal into society. And that's not a bad thing either. That's what you want to do. You always get these people that get to 23, 25 and they say, oh, I wish I'd done this, or I wish I'd done that. But they've got themselves such a mind state of thinking that, oh, my council tax, oh, my electric bill, but these are all things that you've accumulated because you've got a job. So you've accumulated all these things. You've accumulated more bills because you wanted internet. You wanted the car that you got outside, you know? All these things that you've applied to your life that are costing you so much, you brought into your life. And then you start complaining about them, and then you start complaining those are the reasons why you can't do what you want to do. Stop paying for them then. That's just kind of like my mindset within life now, and I kind of feel like we just need to, I'd like to be able to put that across to the next generation, that you can be anything that you want, you know.
My final question for you, bro, what have you got in store for 2016, maybe 2017?
2016, I actually thought that I wasn't going to battle anymore, and I wasn't going to really like do anything like that, you know. Like, I actually thought I'd just really concentrate on my community-based stuff. But based around what I know what rep can do for you, I'm now making the conscious choice to get back into how I used to train, get back into the battling aspect of things, but on a higher level, like within Europe and stuff, and only really actually go and travel to high profile jams. just for myself really in a sense as well, you know, like to get that next level of thing, just to get a taste for it as well. I've had it, do you know what I mean? But just like, it's not really something that really, that took me too much to it. So I'm wanting to go back into that. Personally, I'm embarking on a calisthenics journey. Been doing it for a year now. My goal is to be ready to compete by the end of next year, so 2018. I'm wanting to compete within calisthenics. I think by that time my breaking competitive side will take a back step, but the teaching and me being involved in the scene will still be there through me doing Fresh Factory, and Fresh Factory is going to be the thing that's going to be that I'm trying to use as a stage for Huddersfield youths to be able to express themselves. So within my classes that I hold, the weekly classes that I hold and the training sessions, then say for instance every 2 months the kids that come to my actual sessions are going to have a stage to actually put all the practice they've put into work onto a stage and battle, perform and so forth. And the same thing with outside in communities as well. Fresh Factory's got had an international level coming to it, do you know what I mean? At one point, you know, I had people from Europe coming as well, so it can still get back to that level. So it's Fresh Factory that's going to be coming back out as well, and I'm wanting to launch a CBY Squared studio with a calisthenics gym for that people that know about it can come and use it. It's not really something that I'm going to be actually holding any classes within, but just for an actual space for people to actually do that, because I found that during the summer, fine. Winter, autumn, spring, not that great to be outside, but even though you've got these guys in Russia that are doing it in Arctic weather, like, I don't get that, but that's ballsy. I like that still, but I'm going to be basically trying to provide that, so when the weather does get crap, it is raining, you have got somewhere that you can go and do this stuff, do you know what I mean? So, and I'm wanting as well to have within my studio is a kitchen that promotes healthy eating, hence going back to me being a chef, being able to put that on into practice as well, and a lot of the health tips that I've picked up over in the last 3 years, involving like coconut oil, coconut butter, all that type of stuff, and just generally eating more greens. So yeah, that's the general look of what I'm wanting to kind of provide for the community within the coming years. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Been a pleasure.
Thank you, mate.